bits to 8.5-bit live. I'm your host Paul, and joining me tonight is my very good friend James.
Hello.
Yeah, that's good enough.
Yep.
And Anais.
Hello.
Oh, I'm going to point out what's going to annoy everyone during the show.
All right, go for it.
Very tiny slither on the edge of the
Oh,
background.
no. Oh, God, you're ruining it, Paul.
Yeah.
Here we are in front of
Failed
this
you.
beautiful vista.
Yeah.
This
Yes.
pixelated vista, which
Such
is
a
very
view.
reminiscent of Melee Island. No.
I can't even see that part of it.
Oh, I can't.
No.
Plus that, no,
Wait.
it's fine. I drew it by hand.
Yeah.
Ah, Mr. Producer fixed it. Now
Yay,
now it
thanks,
kind of annoy
producer.
everyone. Sorry. I have a question. Oh no, and my other good friend, Anais.
You said that
Yeah,
already,
she got-
but thank
Did
you.
I?
She got two
I got.
intros.
I got.
Double?
What's going on?
Can I have two intros?
Okay.
No.
Oh.
How do you clean your ears, James?
Regularly jamming my finger in it.
Anais?
Like in the shower and like,
With what?
I don't know, water?
To clean your
No,
ears?
it's a weird question.
So you're not into ear spoons?
What? There are ear
is
spoons?
that?
Just wait. You are partnered with an Asian person, and you don't know ear spoons.
Yes. No.
Ear spoons are the best.
I've never.
It's just a stick, either wood or metal, and it's got a little spoon on the edge, and you stick it in your ear and you scoop out the shit.
That sounds pretty great.
It's fantastic.
Are we getting ear spoon
Are they
kickbacks?
certified? Because you know, like, earbud, like,
Well,
they're not allowed to be said to go in your ear.
but they're also useless.
Don't
I
they
mean, it's
just
like,
jam it
like
in?
say you have a bowl of potato salad. Or just mashed potato.
Do I put that in my
mashed
ear?
No. Now, is that better to get out with like a stick with a towel wrapped around it? Would you just jam at it and go, well, this has got a bit of potato out?
Yeah.
Or would you use a spoon to scoop it out?
But say if there's an egg yolk in there that you can't, like, damage.
There's no egg yolk. There's a very
But
careful bottom of
That's
the
my
bowl.
metaphor for
Yeah.
an
Which
eardrum.
you just go, oh, well, the bottom of the bowl is like 30 centimeters down. So I'm just not going to jam it 35 centimeters in.
I was wondering where earwax came from.
Yeah.
I was curious about it the other day.
Oh, this is good.
No, it's a fairly short story.
Ah.
But there's actually like a gland in your ear that secretes
Ew.
it
Yeah.
continuously, and that kind of what
Ew.
pushes it forward. Also, some people
Ew.
have like wet earwax and dry earwax. It's like a
Ew.
gene to define which one it is. And I was looking at Wikipedia,
Yeah.
and there was like pictures of like that's dry earwax and that's wet earwax.
Well, see, and I have the other because I've always had eczema in my ears, so I
Yeah.
get a lot of dead skin in my ears.
See, I always thought it was dead skin in my ears, but then looked at pictures and went, oh,
oh no,
actually
no,
it
no,
looks like
definitely there's different substances
yeah,
in there.
Yeah.
Tell us an earwax story,
I
Anais.
don't have any. Oh, my brother's gross and uses, like, just whatever's around.
Bobby pins, they're
Yeah.
good.
Actually,
Yep,
I do.
does
I
that.
have another earwax story.
Oh, okay. But I want to ask, what have you ever used an ear candle?
No, I don't understand them.
Have you ever made a candle out of your earwax?
No.
Ah, she's not into this. James, what's your other earwax story?
So when I was
This is the last bit of earwax.
When I was young, I was at my grandparents' place.
Yes.
And my grandpa said, earwax is the only thing that comes out of the body that smells good. And so after he did
That's-
that, it's a weird thing to say. And now, like after he did it, I'm like, all right, I gotta smell it.
Did you
And
lick
so
it?
no, God no, can't lick it. That's gross. And like I sniffed it. I was like, it smells.
It's just you.
It smells okay. I wouldn't say it's great, but they kind of like for a long time, I got into this weird habit. Every time I had earwax on my finger, I was like,
Just
I
have a smell.
got to test.
Get a test.
Because like I've been told that it smells good.
Do you think having earwax is just a holdover from when we all used to be bees?
We'll never bees.
I'm pretty sure that's how evolution
No,
works.
it's not how this shit goes.
Video games. My wife says to hit me, Anais.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Apparently,
Earwax.
earwax is too much.
Yeah.
Video games.
Video games happen this week.
Big this week. We had the release of Firewatch, which we're not talking about yet because we're going to talk about that in this week's Game Club, which will be coming up later in the show. Had some other big reveals this week though. Unravel came out.
They did. I didn't even play. I can't contribute to this conversation at all.
That's right. Off you go. How did you like Unravel so far, Renee?
I liked it. It's super pretty. Like, you see footage of it, because I saw it at PAX, and you're like, oh yeah, that's pretty, but not until you play it, you're like, ah, shit, it's actually really pretty.
Maybe I thought it would be more pretty. I find Yanni doesn't feel as made of yarn as I hoped he would.
No, his animations are super fluid, which I guess is very
Yeah.
un-Yanni-like.
Well, okay. So, Unravel, are you behind the subject? You can sit in your chair. You're allowed to. Anyway, Yanni is a super cute platformer, published by EA but made by a smaller studio.
Yeah.
And you play this small character, Yanni, which has been very prolific in advertising and such. What the hell are you doing? Just get back. Oh, you pulled out your cable. That's
part
fine.
of their marketing, they sent, like, you know, journalists little yarnies and stuff.
I never got a Yanni. There are instructions on how to make your own Yanni.
Yeah, but nah.
So, Unravel is a story about a small demon trying to uncover the murderous past of the grandmother. I'm pretty sure she's killed her family.
And he
And it's a
moves around on his
bloodline.
own intestines.
Yeah.
Yes. And I actually find it is actually quite disturbing because the length of yarn being pulled behind you is very important to the game, and
Yeah.
quite often you'll have to go and untangle yourself to be able to get to the next
And
stage and
collect more
such.
yarn.
But when you get light in yarn, you're like a skeleton.
Yeah, it's
and
really
actually
creepy.
it's actually a bit creepy. Yeah. But yes, Yarny is very cute. And what did you? Okay, so we know it's platforming now. It's super cute. It plays with scale, which is a big thing I love. How did you feel actually playing it?
It played pretty well. Like, I'm not a puzzle platformer, like, pro or anything. Like, I got stuck a couple of times, but it wasn't too
What did you think
challenging.
of difficulty with swinging and everything? Because I found like it's not super tight. It's not as
No.
loose as something like Little Big Planet, which
Yeah.
is way too loose to be good.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's not super. It's not like a Prince of Persia or something.
Yeah. It's like, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was just, it felt good enough. But
Good
a
enough.
couple of times, like, I just, like, couldn't grab something, and it was just a bit frustrating.
I think it's got to walk that line because there's so much physics interaction through it.
So is there clever platforming in this thing?
Yeah.
Or is it style or substance or both?
No. They certainly use the concept of string for not like just for your very basic navigation. You know, you can be quite careful in the game. You can be quite reckless. But then it's basic. Like you get your lever puzzles. You get your I'll pull something down
Yeah.
puzzle. So there's lots of clever uses of the string.
And it revisits them. Over
Yeah,
and
yeah,
over again.
and it builds up, and there's a lot of interacting with physics. Like it's very physics heavy, so it might be pulling something somewhere so that you get a certain amount of leverage off it, so that you can whip yourself up or something like that, or having to make a loop of yarn around something so something gets pulled up in the correct direction, things like that, and then also swinging through various things to change the layout, and then going back in your path to untie yourself, because you can tie yourself to anchor points, which is very important physics-wise. But then it means that the string is stuck at that length or going around that, so you have to go back and like rewind yourself through the puzzle.
So there is a finite amount of string in this game?
Yes.
So how do I say, because it's all tangled up now, so if you want to move forward, how do you untangle it all?
Well, from there, this wouldn't be a good example of that because it's just a straight line anyway. It's going to go that far. So basically, there's each checkpoint is you get some more string.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
basically,
save point.
yeah, every checkpoint you pass says, okay, now you've got enough string to definitely get to the next.
Oh, okay, whoa, okay. So, you're made of yarn.
Yes.
You constantly lose yarn.
Yes.
And then you regain yarn.
Yeah,
Yes.
see down there on the bottom of the screen?
So-
That's like the yarn you have to collect to go any further.
So, are you still yarny at the end?
Oh, yeah, we're doing like a mind body. Let's just dissect the body. Which
Well,
part is still me?
yeah.
Well, yeah, because he's leaving his path everywhere. He's leaving his shit everywhere. He's
But
like a
what's-
teenager that won't get out of the house.
What's the bit that's yarny?
the
the,
soul.
yeah, the skeleton underneath.
Oh, okay, well that's it then.
Yeah.
That's no mind body problem. It's a
And
skeleton.
there's little collectibles, which I got some of them. Couldn't be bothered getting them all.
Some of them are quite hard to get. The actual
Yeah.
swinging involved, that's probably the hardest thing. I love swinging from Lemmings. No, not Lemmings. I mean Worms I'm thinking of. From Worms swinging
there was
to
some
Bionic
swinging in
Commando.
Lemmings.
Not really.
There was wasn't there like a bungee rope something? Or,
Yeah, but you didn't really do physics, like manual swinging in
No, not
Lemmings.
really. No.
Oh, played Lemmings Touch on the Vita.
Yeah, how is it?
Shit.
Oh.
It's fine. Anyway, sorry, lost my thought of train there. Unravel's a good game. I like it.
Yeah,
It's-
I had like the story. Didn't care.
Yeah, it's got a super sentimental story about going through Grandma's house.
And like,
Well, I thought that was
collecting
going to be one of the
photos
things. It was like going to be a touchy feel-good story.
Yeah, I think they played it up, but without that, it still doesn't really add anything really that I could feel. I guess it's just sort of a reason to progress to the next part of the story, or like levels rather.
Okay.
Well, it's just a hub.
Yeah.
It's like, and it's attractive enough. And each level unlocks part of Grandma's scrapbook.
Yes.
And you can go through the scrapbook and learn about Grandma's life with her grandkids and everything. As I say, I'm pretty sure she killed them all.
You think it's going to be
That'll be the final twist. It's
that's why Yanni's red. He's soaked with the blood of children.
Yeah, the blood of children. Yeah. That's right. And the levels are really like that one we were going through the beach. And, it starts like in a car park up on the ridge, and you work your way through the rocks down on the beach, and then you're going through piers, and you get on a boat. And
sort of puzzles as well.
Yeah. So lots. So the waves coming in, so the water rising up and down. It's like Limbo. He'll have some horrific deaths.
Oh yeah, it is very much like Limbo.
Yeah. It's actually very Limbo-ish, except it's more level based than just a straight progression through. Although you have to play the levels in a progression, so it's pretty much exactly the same, except you can go back to levels easily.
Is there a good reason to go back? Just
collectibles.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're fun. Go through. Anyway, Unravel. It's available now, I believe.
Yeah.
It's on PS4. I was playing on PS4.
Yeah. It's like 20 something bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm gonna keep playing.
I like it. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about something more exciting then.
It's like I was expecting more out of it. I thought.
What did you want to be out of it?
I don't know. Like it was sort of being like it's like one of the indie darlings. It's like it seemed like it was.
Did you think it was hiding something?
Not even hiding. I was just expecting there to be some. Maybe it's. I was expecting the story to be. There to be very like, sentimental, sad story in there.
But you wanted it more like Yarn. You wanted like Homeward Bound with Yarn.
Well, like I was. Is it like you got like Gianna Sisters, right? Like a good platformer. Like, but in terms of like its profile, right? So like this is a
this is such a yes, Gianna Sisters. Yes, we'll use that as a reference.
Okay,
yeah.
but like it's a like I use it because I put both of those on par as being like visually appealing platformers.
Okay. Difference is there is story in the levels.
Okay.
Remember, these are basically you're playing grandma's memories as Yanni. Like
all right.
This is the trail of her life going through it, except you're a little blood-soaked demon.
Just wondering like what makes it stand out from something like Trine or
it's a lot. There's a lot more specific design in the level designs.
Yeah.
So where like Trine is a bit harder one to do. I feel Trine gets very much like okay, and then the next screen's like a bit of a castle, and then there's a thing. This is all like each level is themed in a location, but it's based around like the beginning of the footage we started there. It started on the kite. So you're playing with the ideas of the past and the things you do, and then when you go and look at the storybook afterwards, you see more of the context of what she did at the beach.
Yeah.
And and this will probably,
all right.
As I say, it all builds up to the grisly murder.
Yeah. Okay.
So it does have more of that sort of narrative in the level design, and just the fact that the levels are so varied and different. There wasn't too much in there, but the other creatures that come in. So you've got.
Oh yeah, they're really pretty. There's a crab.
Yeah. There's crabs
cool
and there's
crab.
hamsters. There's things that attack you. There's lots of things that just ignore you completely, or things that you just have to manipulate from physics puzzles. So there's a lot of character and a lot of life in the world. It feels like a lived-in place. Yeah. Which, separates especially from Gianna Sisters, which is of course our go-to platformer. And Trine is a little bit hard because they definitely are going for things in specific design in Trine, and they're very story-based. But it becomes very wishy-washy.
Where would you put this in, say, contrast to Ori?
Well, see, Ori is a Metroidvania.
Yeah.
So it wins by default.
I think it's seems like a lot more casual and accessible. Like I'm worried that Ori would be too hard for me, whereas this I didn't find it too hard, but still challenging enough that it's enjoyable.
I think Ori was a fine difficulty, but then lots of people say it's really hard. So
I watched Cheryl play through that. That was not good for James.
Well, it's fine.
But she was trying to 100% the damn thing.
Anyone could 100% it. It's easy. If you can't 100% Ori in the Blind Forest, you're a crab.
You're the worst at video games. Why do you even video game?
I don't know.
I don't know. Why do you video game?
My cup's less out of water.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, thanks.
Well, there we go.
Well, I do that. How about you talk about one of your things that isn't Unravel, James?
All right, we can talk about a mobile game.
Oh, good.
Yeah. It's going to be... I've got to remember what it's called.
It's Tomb of the Mask.
Wait, is it the one that's featured?
It was featured.
Tomb of the Mask.
Tomb of the Mask.
I played that for like a minute.
Yeah,
my brother gave it to me.
I played it
1 minute
for a bit more than a minute.
2 minutes.
Yeah, it has a art style that I very much enjoy.
I like the slight pause. It has an art style
that I like.
Yeah.
So Tomb of the Mask is a swipey. Oh god, you'll see in a second how you play this thing. So you're this cute little guy and you move around. What's a little bit like a Pac-Man maze, and you kind of swipe to hit a wall.
Yeah,
to move around.
What was that puzzle game we played last year by some
guys in Melbourne?
They're not from Melbourne as far as I know. They're the PAX guys. It was Candy something or there was a little cute thing.
Yeah,
but anyway.
So I guess it's a little bit like that. I think I liked with this game that it made me think about the levels in different ways. So it isn't just, you don't really think in terms of I just need to get to the top, because there are obstacles around, like there's spikes.
That was very cool
like
how the enemy became a platform when you froze them. Yeah.
But you do. Yeah, so here, you got to use a shield to get through there. So yeah, like I like that it made me think about the space differently than I originally thought, and I started because I like it when I start to chunk games in interesting ways, and this was like, I got to stop, and they use the dots as a bit of a hint some of the time and kind of figure out how to get around. But when you sort of start to get a feel for, oh, okay, I actually need to look at the edges, and I need to figure out, like how do I navigate around this obstacle by kind of moving up, down, left, right. And yeah, I kind of like that.
Is it random?
Yeah, it's sort of randomly generated.
Okay.
I'd call it Upwell.
Yeah. It does have a visual art style which is kind of similar to Upwell. You can hear Downwell. I'm trying to figure out the monetization in this thing. It actually kind of confused me. This is a game I kind of wish they just had like $1 price point on.
I think.
So where is it free to play?
It's free to play, and I think for these kinds of nichey things, because like this is something I'll drop $1 on. If I saw this, I go, oh, it's like retro art style.
Mobile
like
games is a small amount of those people.
Yeah,
they're very vocal people, but
I really like.
I just want to pay $1 for this.
I really like what Downwell did, where they just went PC as well. And I think something like this, you could chuck on Steam and...
Well, I think this company, they make a lot of games like this, and I think they did do the premium thing, but now they're doing the freemium.
Because I was trying to understand their business model, and I didn't quite get where it was. Like, I kind of like it when I have a fair idea of where the pressure points are going to be with
Isn't it just watch an ad to keep going?
No, there's like spinny wheels, and you pay money for lives, and then you can spend some money
to spend hours
to
and
turn
hours
off like ads. But then I hadn't seen any ads, so I wasn't quite sure why they wanted me to pay. Anyway, so I was just a bit confused by the whole thing. But just as a little thing to play on the train, it's pretty good. Like they really.
Have you got a host file on your mobile? Is that why you saw no ads?
No, I don't do that.
Sometimes they can test track your habits. So if you don't watch a video ad, then they'll force an interstitial pop-up ad.
That's clever.
So
that's clever. There's a lot of things in there. I think if you're looking at how to juice your game, I quite liked. Like there's nice little things with the screen shake. When you hit the wall, it'll screen shake in that direction. Shake. Yeah, nice. So yeah, fun little game.
I actually think it would scratch a Downwell itch for me.
Yeah.
It looks nice and fast and clean.
Yeah, I prefer, for a mobile game, I prefer these mechanics to Downwell. I think the swiping is better suited.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
You know what would be great for it? D-pad.
Yeah, that's right. The swiping works okay. It's all right. Because
mobile interfaces are all terrible.
Not all of them. Most of them. Unless it's a game about controlling spaceships.
Oh, that's fine. It's just tilt controls, please.
Yeah, just tilt. I like my on-screen D-pad.
Okay. Can I talk about trucks?
Yeah, go talk about your stupid trucks.
Yes, I want to hear about this.
I played 2 truck games this week.
Wait, you played 2?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So I've been very quiet on the second one. We're going to start with American Truck Simulator. So this is just the demo. People said there's a demo out for American Truck Simulator. And I went, why aren't I playing it right now? So after I waited for it to come down, I got it. Now the great thing about this footage, it's whenever I push record on Fraps, I'd already recorded. So it's all the bits in between the things I meant to record.
Oh, so and there's a distinction between these things?
Yeah, I'll get to it. So American Truck Simulator is a truck simulator.
Simulator.
You get to drive... Yeah, I found it... The more I got into it, the more I turned off all of the... Like, there's behind our faces down there, there's just a little nav man, but there's also just on the wheel there. You can see it, so you don't actually need that up. Yeah. You don't actually need the mirrors because you can look down at the mirrors. Yep. You can go into third person or over the shoulder. Like there's heaps of camera options and everything. But I think...
Can I play this in VR?
That would be cool.
Well, I'm pretty sure you could. And I have to say, my overwhelming feeling from after playing this was not, haha, okay, I played a game I can make fun of on the show or whatever. It was... Man, if I had a full steering wheel and VR,
we could truck a rig.
Because this is it. So basically, you get to your destination, and there's you can put it in the spot, you can put it near the spot, or you can just let us do it, and you get more of a bonus for it.
Yeah.
So of course you say, no, I'm going to fucking park this where it needs to go.
I suck at regular parking.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So anyone that can park with a trailer is just going to be very frustrated watching me here because I'm trying to work out what to do. I'm playing with a keyboard as well, which is not... But it's just like, it becomes like this little physicsy problem. And like, I've gone into a third-person camera here, but you could just do the entire thing just from the cab.
Oh, Jesus, no.
But it's great.
So...
Because there's no...
What do you actually do in this game?
You're running a trucking company, so you're getting jobs. You're running.
So you just drive from A to B and then try and park.
Your wife is leaving you.
Yep, but it's a management game in that you have to take charge. You have to make sure you maintain the vehicles. You're not damaging the vehicles, things like that. It's very accurate.
So you can't drive crazy.
I mean, you can, but your business will go out. You'll go out of business pretty quickly.
So it's like real life.
Yeah, it's like real. But the thing is, there's been a whole lot of people that. See,
now we just got out the drone.
Yeah. I'm trying to learn. This is the beginning of the game.
Just had the drone in your dashboard.
But I heard a whole lot of people playing like these truck simulators recently, just going, it's just kind of relaxing and everything, and it kind of is.
You know what this needs?
What?
It needs online chat.
Yeah.
You need the CB radio.
The CB radio built into the game.
If you built, a CB radio into this, and you could build a little community of your trucking.
I don't see why you couldn't. Like, I don't think it's in the game, but you could so easily just organize
That would be so cool.
Yeah, it's
World of Trucks.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah, I actually had a great time playing this.
Is it kind of like the Elite Dangerous style trading? Like you go from truck stop to truck stop, buying and selling?
Not that I played in the demo.
Or it's just more you're hired to go.
It was more like, I'll take these jobs, I'll take this longer
I guess it's meant to be
simulators,
simulators, and truckers aren't traders.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're when you're playing this, the demo is quite full. It's like a whole area of the game, so it's not just like a 5-minute thing.
So it's just like a big open world.
Yeah, it's a huge open world, multiple cities, go across the US sort of thing. Right? Hopefully, there's not like here. This is a 20-hour haul.
Yeah,
but maybe there is.
There needs to be the simulation mode.
Yeah, exactly.
The real time mode.
Did European Truck Simulator come out recently? Is that why it's
That's
all
been
like
out for
popular?
a while.
So is this a new one?
I don't know if it's the same company.
Okay, what's the price for that? What are we looking at?
I think it was. Before I say a number, we're just going to let Mr. Producer say, because he can look it up.
Okay.
He knows how much. Using my powers to call Mr. Producer.
You got to channel Mr. Producer.
How much money is American Truck Simulator on Steam? We really could have warned him before we did this, but oh well. It's really fun. We could really just type on either of these computers.
Yeah, we could
do the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's more fun.
But it's more fun making someone else do them.
Yeah. We love you, Mr. Producer. We love you so much.
Is it $20 US? I got a thumbs up. It is $20 US.
We could have looked
You
that
knew
up.
all along.
I did, but I wasn't sure. But so I said 2 truck games.
All right, $20 US. I think it seems like a pretty good price point for what you're showing.
I actually think it's, if you want to come home and just relax, space out with a game that every once in a while you need to focus with, but the rest of the time you're just driving along a highway, making sure you don't just run off like go-go mobiles
this
or whatever.
This is something you might want to put on the big TV with a controller.
It's like if you like Destiny, you'll love this.
There's more to do than in Destiny.
So if you thought $20 was a pretty good deal, how about free?
Whoa, free?
Yeah, well, you can get the demo for Truck Simulator free, but
no, you're like free.
Now it's time.
Where's the catch?
Well, the catch is it's an alpha. It's not even in beta yet. This is a game we actually looked at ages ago when it wasn't a game and it was just like a concept.
All right.
It's called Cluster Truck. And it is the best game I've played in a long time.
Oh, this
10
thing.
10 points for the name.
All right, this is the thing we weren't sure what it was.
This is literally me starting the game from the beginning. You're a person on top of trucks, and you have to jump on top of trucks to get to the exit. The reason you're trying to jump forward and just not stay on the truck is because you're trying to do it as fast as you can. Also, the trucks will run into each other, and shit will screw up. So this is me at the beginning of the game, thinking that this seems a little this seems pretty crazy. No, it hasn't even started yet. This is just it. I'm gonna every time I complete a level, I think I'm gonna push to just a couple levels ahead.
Yep.
So it timed me of beating the alpha in 55 minutes, which considering I think that's probably only like 15 levels or something.
Oh, so you can slow down time and then jump to the next truck.
Yes, you got mouse button, which will slow down. Left button will slow down time, and it will
yes!
stay.
What?
This is the best fucking game I've played in ages.
Oh, this... Holy crap. Oh.
Yeah. It's got so many fun. So, it's physics, so, you know, sometimes when you die, it's not your fault. It's that...
It doesn't matter.
But it doesn't matter, because if you've noticed that whenever I've restarted a level, it's instant.
Yeah.
Instant. You just, you know, you just hit these attempts one after another. Go. And so often, the amount of... When I was going through the footage, I go, I'll just get some of the cool ones. And I'm like...
it was breaking. The pillars are breaking.
Yeah, these pillars are made of ice. I gotta... jump from one.
Missed.
Yeah, is the momentum hard to control? Like it feels
no, it's
like
pretty good. You've got a run button, and you have quite a bit of maneuverability in air, but not like infinite. Like you could just totally change trajectory. Yeah. Stuff goes cray all the time, and you get very used to the sort of what's a feasible jump and what's not.
Oh, you had to jump back.
Yeah.
Oh.
Also, so I'm playing this. I'm going like, this is amazing. It was my go-to. Like, yeah, it frustrated me now and then, but frustrated in like, I'll get it next time, you bastard, sort of way. I'm playing through it, and like, this is spectacular. It gives me so many of these like, holy cow, I want to show someone that moments. And they're like, well, you know, I have to be honest. You know, after a couple of hours of this, most people will be, you know, kind of done with it.
Yeah.
Now. It's not active yet, but one of those options in the menu was you unlock different abilities, like double jump, or jetpacks, or all sorts of modifiers and everything to this base game that they have plans to put in. As I say, this is an alpha. This is a new game. Well, no, because you've just played it because you do different speed runs. I'm going to do a double jump run. I'm going to do a jetpack run. I'm going to do all this sort of stuff because they're all just different movement mechanics. So it's like, oh, okay, so really you're going to have the full game, which I can speed run, like, I think they had space for, like, at least 12 different modifiers.
Do you think with this game the name came before the game?
No, because we saw the origin of the game.
Oh, true.
Which was just that big, like, all the trucks and jumping from truck to truck and stuff. It's so much fun.
Yeah, well, I think when we last saw it, I kind of made fun of them a little bit, because, like, yeah, you've made a prototype.
Yeah,
like that's the easy part. Like you made the little thing, but no, it looks like they've turned it around and turned it into a proper thing.
And it just makes me want to.
I like that you're watching it on.
I'm watching like the slight delay on there because I'm like, YouTube, I'm missing out on some cluster truck at the moment. It really like it just is a straight mechanic and quite an original one. Like it is awesome, and it's like I assume the final version will be paid, but at the moment you can just go grab the alpha. It's updated quite regularly. Oh, because yes. Cluster Truck was not its original name. The original name was Highway Fight Squad, which is a shit name.
Cluster Truck is a fantastic
Truck, I'm like, I'll buy that for the name.
Yeah. Highway Fight Squad, not so good. No. But if you want to follow the development of it, they post a lot on Reddit. Underneath the subreddit, Highway Fight Squad. So, a little bit of insider knowledge, as in Googleable knowledge.
That's where I get most of my insider knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, cannot recommend highly enough. I get back in that a million times. So yeah, 2 truck games. We got there. Okay.
I think though that first one, Truck Simulator, watching you park that truck, that looked kind of fun.
It is.
Would you consider a truck career?
If it.
But does it make you go like, oh, I wish I could be a
Look, I hurt my back a few weeks ago, and the worst thing for it is sitting. So nah, I'm done. My career's over. Maybe if we can do like a lying truck. You know, you get those reclining bikes.
Do you want the one to like sit all the way back? So you're trying to.
The people that like, oh, you know what? I'm too visible on a bike. What I need to do is be low to the ground. So much so that I need a flag so that people know I'm there, because people are definitely going to notice a flag. Yeah, those people, those smart people. Don't take those on the road.
Yeah,
you're going to die. I'm not saying like it's bad to exercise. I'm playing
that often.
You're going to die.
I don't quite understand.
Maybe it's people with back problems.
Maybe I wonder like there'd be a reason that you'd get a bike like that.
Okay, so a little bit of news this week.
Yes.
Konami finally announced its plans for DLC for Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, online. Is that the full title? Do I have to do the whole thing?
No, they're basically different games.
But the thing is, if you say Metal Gear Online, that's another game. That's not this game.
No.
There's already a game called Metal Gear Online. So what do we call this?
It is. I think it's just the same name. It's a completely separate executable.
What do we call it? Metal Gear Onlines.
Yes, I do that.
Executable?
Metal Gear Online.
You're not playing on PC, are you?
Yes, I'm playing on PC. Well, I'm playing on both. I'll get to it
okay.
after we talk about it.
Okay, well, the only note about the DLC is that everyone just uses another excuse to say "fuck you, Konami." But I've got a good thing about Konami later. But it was in the past.
Oh, the DLC, like outside the context of let's hate Konami, the DLC was fine. It was like
what was good about it?
It's like it was nothing offensive about it.
Why? What was special about it?
Nothing. It was a nothing.
If it was nothing, why wasn't it just the game? Why is the ability to play as... Because isn't one of them you can play as quiet and online now?
I was like, you can play as Eva, I think, if you want.
Yeah, why does that have to be a paid thing? It's just there. Like, the shit's already there. Here's $2.
There is well, okay. So I started... After seeing that news, I'm like, you know what? I should probably go play Metal Gear online.
Should you?
Check it out. Yes. Actually, you should. The reason, like, I don't care about those editions is because there's, like, a lot to do in this game. And it's like, you can go to the store, it's like, you want to buy a clown hat? Yeah, sure, buy a clown hat, I don't care. It's just going to be mostly cosmetic
You mean
stuff.
I have to pay for a clown hat?
Yeah, well, clown mask.
Fuck you, Konami.
Like
kind
how
of scary.
much?
Like Payday?
It was, yeah, a little bit. It's behind the, whatever they're called, the mother bucks, the MBs. I don't really know what they're called. But yeah.
Okay.
So, here we go. We can look at the... So
All these dollars.
All that DLC's actually not as
Only
expensive as I thought.
$6.95 for all the
Okay,
DLC.
so I was playing this on PC.
Naked Snake. $1.
I don't know, it's $7. So I also did a little bit of a comparison, like between like the PS4 because I've got both editions of it because I'm a sucker, and I was kind of curious about how the communities would be between these two things. When you go into the game, it's like you should do auto match because you get like a bonus if you do auto match for experience or something like that. And I did it, and I got basically empty games. I like this is really on both systems. Like this isn't really doing anything.
Well, that's because everyone's cheated to the top tier at this point.
Well, then I was like, let's just look. Like, luckily it has a server browser, so I was like, cool, I'll just go do that. And I actually had some kind of good games because I could play people also semi-locally. Like there wasn't really much of an Australian community, but I at least got Japan, so the latency wasn't.
Nippon?
Yes.
Our brothers across the sea.
Across the pond. Okay, so the game. I like my competitive shooters. Though I like it when games also kind of mix things up and want to do those shooters. And this is a game very successfully takes the mechanics from Metal Gear and puts them into a competitive environment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I shoot, but a lot of what I'll do is like sneaking around, watching the flank people. Here, I'm actually trying to like scout, so I'm at the top trying to spot people as they come past, so they're marked in the map, and then other people see it. And they've got these.
There's a guy over there. Spot him,
yeah,
James.
so you can go
So
there
it's
and see
like
him.
PvP. Sorry, I missed that.
Yeah,
bit.
this is PvP.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a few different game modes. The one we're playing here is like a ticket system. So you can see I've got 2 kills on me. And what that means, if you murder someone, you get a bounty put on you. If someone then manages to Fulton you, which is basically knock you out and send you back up, those tickets are released. So the game kind of encourages you to be stealthy and non-lethal, because non-lethal is actually more beneficial than being lethal.
Okay.
So it's got some cool things like that. A lot of the time, like I don't even do that much in the way of iron sight aiming. Because a lot of the time I don't really need to. Like there I probably should have been because I'm at distance. But if you're at close range, you don't really bother. You just kind of hit fire and kind of hope for the best. I felt like it was taking the stuff I liked in Metal Gear and putting it into a competitive environment.
That footage looked like it's a tower simulator.
That was me mainly in the tower.
Why don't you sit in the tower?
There was there was another game mode that was like the ticket mode.
Okay.
There was another one which was more of like a capture the flag style thing. So one team starts off non-lethal with cloak. The other is lethal without cloak. And that team has to, here we go, so it's like a disc mode. They have to get in and steal the discs. So this is me trying to stop people from stealing discs. So it's like that kind of asymmetrical kind of thing where someone is non-lethal but they can sneak. It was pretty cool. The biggest thing I wanted for this is like I so wanted to have actual voice chat in this. Because I could see this is the kind of game where if you had like a good team together, it'd be super fun. Like you got to be pretty organized to make it work.
Is that not an option? Or you just couldn't do it?
Everyone was pretty quiet. Okay. Like this community.
Well, they probably were Japanese.
Well, they were Japanese, yeah.
English anyway.
But I think this community is pretty much what I thought it would be, in just pretty small. It's a pretty nichey kind of idea. And so I wasn't expecting there to be much. I was just generally happy that there were at least some people to play with. But yeah, I don't know. It's if you got Metal Gear Solid 5, like it's totally worth doing. There were some technical hurdles that had me I had trouble getting it started because it actually is a completely separate game.
Yeah.
Like one of the options is which game do you want to load at the beginning, and if you swap modes, it like closes one and goes to the other. And it was like the other one on my laptop was deciding, you know what video card I should use? Integrated graphics.
Those graphics are great.
They're like,
they're
why is this running at 10
there.
frames a second?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun.
The human eye can't see more than 10 frames a second.
I think I'll probably get frustrated with it eventually because I think requires quite a lot of teamwork to be interesting. But at least so far, it's been kind of fun doing some sneaky stuff, sneaking up on people, grabbing them, knifing them. You can get intel out of them if you interrogate them and tell you where the team members are. Like, you know, they've done some cool stuff. So good job, Konami, in shutting that team down.
You say Konami.
Konami?
I don't know.
I think I changed quite regularly, actually. I'm not right down there.
They shut that team down anyway, so...
I think you got some criticism in the chat, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
The Gunstow is terrible.
But it's David Koch, you know, he runs that morning show.
Oh, Koshi's watching.
Yeah.
Hey, Koshi. Hey, Koshi, if you could give us a shout out
Hi.
on the morning show, that'd be great.
You can put me on one of your funny books.
your jokes, your dad jokes.
Okay.
All right.
Shall we move on?
Yes.
Shall we do some news or will we talk about Anais' puppy?
Oh, I'm getting a puppy.
Getting?
Yeah.
Don't have? All right.
She's picked it.
All right. What's
I
the name?
picked the runt.
What's the name of your puppy?
Runts are a good point. I
Can
like
you just call
runts.
her Runt?
No, it's
Alright.
called Commander Shepherd.
Nice.
And on Saturday, I got to meet all the puppies who literally are just like sat there and had puppies all over me on Saturday for like 3 hours. It was the greatest.
So what was your criteria for picking Shepherd?
Well, apparently it was the last one left. So
So you got like the dregs.
yeah, but I want the runt. Although actually the others were available. I didn't know that. I just got told only one was available.
My sister got a puppy a while ago.
Yeah.
And they got it it's got a cavoodle, and normally they're quite expensive. But they got it really cheap. And like oh, look at that thing!
Look at that pillow.
And
it's a rug. Sorry.
Solo res.
They got that's so cute.
Yeah,
and
it's Commander Shepherd.
They got the puppy like delivered like on a rainy night in like it was all kind of really shady when they
Like
got
Harry
it.
Potter.
And it was told that it was like missing like a little toe or something. But it actually was missing like half his leg.
Oh, so you got damaged stuff.
Yeah, they got damaged. Aww. Yeah, but that puppy. Because if a puppy grows up with missing half a leg, they're fine.
Yeah,
like, you know, they adapt. They're flexible.
You call them
creatures.
lucky, and then you give them an inspiring backstory.
He's a sweet little dog.
He was fighting a bear, and he was protecting this baby from the bear, and then he tripped, and he got gangrene. Now he's all right. He's got a heart as solid as a rock. Okay.
So when are you getting your puppy? When are you getting it?
We're still young, so I have to wait till it's 6 weeks old. So 3 weeks from now.
That's going to be awesome.
And then, yes.
I just made them talk about puppies because I like puppies.
Puppies are great.
Puppies are freaking
I should bring
great.
it on the show.
Yes.
Mascot. And we can tell it about our differing opinions
And it's relevant
on Mass
because
Effect.
it's named Commander Shepherd.
So was it male or female?
It's a male.
Oh, don't go putting labels on it. We're in a post-gender society.
It could be FemShep.
I was like, is it FemShep?
Good. Fabulous. Okay, let's talk about some news in our fabulous news attack. Brought to you by StreamLive.tv. Ding! Okay. Some interesting news coming from Microsoft. You can go and pre-order Quantum Break now. It's coming out on Xbox One, as we assumed. I think it was coming out March or April. Sorry, I don't remember that aspect of it. It's also coming to PC. They announced it. Also, if you buy it for Xbox One, you get it for PC.
What?
You also get, if you pre-order it, you get all of the Alan Wake and all both the American Nightmare and all the DLC for both of them as well.
That's a sweet deal.
And most of it, even the 3 stuff that's 360, is compatible on Xbox One, so you can play it on that as well. So, but this has brought to light that Microsoft is considering making all games where it's appropriate cross-buy across Xbox One and PC.
Oh, really?
That would be amazing.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That would be great.
Although, what benefit does it really have?
So, wait, is this actually them dismantling the Xbox brand? Is this sort of them?
No.
Is this an exit strategy from hardware?
No. They'll keep that going, but I think we're going to see. Well, I mean, we already are. There's very few Xbox exclusives that aren't also on PC.
Yeah.
I mean, the same with PS4, but either way. But they're sort of cross-promoting with this, and it did make me go like, well.
That's actually, if you're a PC gamer, and you're like, well, I'm going to get whatever, buy a game on Steam, and it's like, oh, but by the way, you can also get it on, or if you buy it on Xbox One, they give you a Steam key or whatever the hell it ends up being.
You know,
actually, it'll be Windows Store.
One of my biggest problems when I'm choosing where to buy a game is if a game has single player and like local multiplayer, I'm going to play the single player likely on my PC, but I want it on a console for ease of sitting down with my friends. So it's like, well, I could easily buy a game for both from that, and it might push me over buying an Xbone because I don't have one yet.
Yeah.
And it costs them nothing. It's still downloading from their servers. It's still, and I assume, I didn't see it as a detail, but I'm going to assume that's tied to your Xbox account, your Microsoft account. So it's not like, oh, I'll buy it and I'll give the PC code to my friend. I assume they're all going to be.
It's just like, oh, you can go download it on the Windows Store now.
Yeah, which I think is great. And also, if they keep this sort of, because they keep bringing more stuff backwards compatible and they're doing more stuff with the PC, well, you know, what if I eventually can play my original Xbox 360 arcade
PC
library on PC?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be amazing.
If it's just running through an emulator, there's no good reason why that thing couldn't be brought to PC.
Yeah, and well, remember all the XNA stuff pretty much runs on PC anyway. We had the first ever case of someone pirating a game by porting it. That was Dishwasher the Dead Samurai, I think. Yeah, someone got the XNA and published it on PC. It's like that. I can't really think of anything. Well, we saw someone publish Plants vs Zombies on the Genesis. That's about it. But that was not a port. That was just a cool hack. Anyway, in other news, Dragon's Dogma is doing very, very well on PC for Capcom. It is their fastest selling PC game ever. This is very exciting.
Did you buy it?
Yeah, I bought it. So I was like,
did you talk about it on the show?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
you did.
we did.
Yeah.
You get to climb shit and stab them. It's good fun.
You like doing that.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things to do in a third-person game. It's climb shit. Anyway, very good news because when it was being announced, Capcom very, very blatantly said a Dragon's Dogma 2 will almost entirely depend on how well it does on PC.
Okay.
And it's their most successful game ever.
So hopefully, finally, we can get our co-op.
Our co-op version of Dragon's Dogma. That's what we all fucking want. We
like,
just want to be able to play with someone else's porn. We just want to jump in there. Are you shitting?
Yes.
That's what it seems to be.
Shitting cuteness.
It seems to be blinded in one eye there.
That's adorable.
Okay, Kanye West finally revealed his video game, Only One.
It's hard, yo.
Making games is hard.
Making games is hard.
No, it's hard, yo, seemed to be more of it that he went around San Francisco looking for developers, and apparently a lot of them gave him shit. That was what was hard.
Oh.
It's like, asking people to make games is hard, yo. Probably because he went in and said, like, here's $1,000, make me a video game. Anyway, he showed a footage of his new game when he was announcing releasing his new album, whatever, Life of Pablo, with the amazing album cover and all that stuff. And he showed us some footage of the game. And why aren't I showing it? Because Kanye West, and I'm not going to fucking go down that. And two, his streaming service, which all this was put through, is so terrible. The only quality that exists is basically through a toilet bowl. Like, the animation looks nice.
Well, I have no idea what this game is.
It's about getting his mother going through the gates of heaven, which is of course going to be right up my alley because I dig heaven. Yeah, so basically there's a real great animation of, it looks pixelated, or it could be the terrible stream quality, of him flying up. Anyway, we're going to get a Kanye West game soon. And you know what? I bet it's going to be worth talking about. Take that however you will.
There'll probably be a game club, maybe.
Maybe. If you were looking forward to this year's Assassin's Creed, you're not getting one. Great work.
Yes.
Ubisoft, no more annual Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
We don't need
the moment looking at
year.
a 2-year cycle, which I think is still pretty damn fast.
Yeah, like a real game.
Good. Well, not COD.
They're almost.
COD's yearly. They got 3 studios that make them.
Yeah,
3 yearly. Yeah.
Well, it's each studio does one a year.
3 studios.
Yeah. Anyway, plus, I just want to point out, if you like old games, and it's not just games, also old programs, archive.org has just added a huge collection of Windows 3.1 programs.
Finally, you can go play Dare to Dream.
Pretty much.
Actually, no, really, Dare to Dream, it's like Cliffy B's.
Yeah, well, I also, just because
early games.
When I've tried to get 3.1 stuff running,
it's a pain.
It's a pain to get up and going. But now you just play it all in browser, and it's really awesome. I was playing through a few old games, even like old people's old click and play projects they've published on archive.org.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, why? Cool. Why would you do this? Anyway, that's cool. Now, what else have we got to talk about? Cookie clicker.
You and your clickers, sir.
Cookie clicker.
You and your clickers.
Well, it was interesting. I was still playing Plantera, that one that I did the other week.
Yep.
Not very regularly, like once a week or something. And I said, okay, I'll play that and Cookie Clicker at the same time. Plantera, way more interactive, way more things to do. But the entire game's pretty much over if you put like 4 hours of like, well, that's not even active, but you know, you don't.
Chat with us on IRC.
Yes. I love it.
This game's like popular, right?
Yeah. Okay, so have you ever played Cookie Clicker?
No, but I've heard people talk
Cookie
about
Clicker
it.
is like the originator of the whole clicking genre. No, not the first one ever, but I mean like the first one to really popularize it. It's very clear, like the quotes up there, you know, things coming through there. But one of the things that is unique about it, and still pretty unique in the clicker, it has story. So this is very early in the game.
You don't want to spoil it.
Well,
actually, but genuinely, you can spoil this, right?
Yeah. You can genuinely spoil it. And also it's Valentine's, so there's all those hearts in the background. So it's beautiful. Get candy hearts. Click on one for a bonus when it comes up as a super heart. I also do just to show the options, because what the hell else am I going to show in Cookie Clicker?
Milk. Curses
cool
on. Wobbly cookie on. What's wobbly cookie?
It just makes it wobble when you click it.
Oh, okay. There's a lot of options.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like it runs in the background the whole time,
Yeah.
so you may not. It could actually have an impact on your computer and all that sort of stuff. I was playing it again because version 2 came out. I was like,
version 2 or season 2?
No, version 2.
Yep.
I was like, I'm going to see what's changed.
Yep.
I didn't find anything.
Oh, okay.
I think they've got like on the upper end, they've added like 2 new objects at the very high end. And they've got more options than they had, a few more things, but I'm sure there is there, but I haven't got far enough into it to actually notice any difference. But I was disappointed. But if you've never played Cookie Clicker,
now is the time.
It's worth a little bit of time. And you know, you can become one of those people that goes and gets an auto clicker and just like, oh, I'm going to farm this. And
is there a leaderboard?
Probably.
Yeah.
Whatever. But you don't have a chance of getting up there because people have been playing it for 5+ years. Anyway, Cookie Clicker. The original and the best. But let's look at some cool things I found this week.
All right.
Okay, I found 2 things that I thought were cool. And I'm going to start with one called Inversus, because it's the slightly less cool looking one. So we're going to build up in anticipation.
because this is already pretty cool.
I think this is very, very cool. So this is basically, think of twin stick shooter. I don't know if it's sticks, but you know, either way. Twin stick shooter, and it's played multiplayer on the whole. I think you can also play a single player version, but they're focused on multiplayer. One's black, one's white. When you shoot, you destroy the opposite other's area, meaning you can move in that direction, and you block them from moving. I actually wonder, even with this very simple mechanic, whether it's too much for me to comprehend as I play.
Yeah, I'm like watching it, I'm like, wow.
I'm very excited to try and play this, but I'm like, wow, even just with this one mechanic and 2 colors, I'm already like, oh, right, I can't move there because I've got to shoot first.
Like, your understanding of the space is constantly changing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which I think is a genius idea. And, you know, and there's survival modes here and everything, so it's not always a verse thing. And I love the idea that these things, you know, they just constantly spread their color. So it means your attack trajectory has to somehow move around the obstacles they're creating while they move. It's awesome. And, sorry, I don't have his name off the top of my head, but the maker of this is one of the key Destiny guys.
Wow. That's much more interesting. It looks
straight
really
from
cool.
Destiny straight to Inversus.
Yeah, that's potentially a pretty fun party game.
Yeah. Or a frustrating one.
Yeah, one of the two.
Now for one that's definitely going to be frustrating, but definitely going to be awesome. It's called Overcooked. It's a game where you run a kitchen. So it's basically Master Chef or
My Kitchen Rules.
I guess in the
what
later
is
part
that?
of
Why am I in a truck? Now I'm on a pirate ship.
Iron
now
Chef,
I'm in
except
ice.
in amazing places.
Taste of destruction.
And just the idea of having sequences of things you have to do with people in crazy environments. This is so clean and attractive.
Nice.
And
Go it alone.
And co-op and competitive.
Yeah. It's just so well themed and just it looks great.
Terrible.
And you can just see how we'll have the terrible cook in our team.
Yeah.
It's like, just stay at your station.
I'm sorry, I'm burning a pole. I'm sorry.
This lamb's so fucking undercooked, it's bleeding. That'd be great. Anyway,
it looks. Oh, you can see his butt.
Oh, button.
I like a good button there.
It looks amazing. It looks super fun.
Is it out?
No, both these games are not far off. Okay. They're early 2016, both of them, and they're both aiming at both PC and console releases.
Cool.
So hopefully we see both of them very soon. There's a relative number of playthroughs of both games available, so I think they're both very much in the playable web polishing state.
Okay. Cool.
Which is exciting.
Looks fun.
Okay, now one more cool thing.
All right.
Okay. This is a game... Well, have you heard of Sound Voltex?
No.
Okay, so this is something that Konami made when they were still a video game company. Pity we'll probably never see it. They made 3 of these games. They're beat music games, and they're in Japan. They're only in arcades. And, well, this is footage of someone playing it. So this is the hand controls. Basically, you've got two jogs that go back and forth. You've got 4 buttons that match up with that. But they had this whole system as well, where people, like big meetup and events where people would create content for these games and everything. So it's got a wide range of like hand-authored content and craziness. And it also has a heavy emphasis on you like putting your own spin on the tracks. So even though you have to do stuff, you can actually do extra stuff as well.
Okay.
Plus, it's fucking mad.
I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah. It makes a little bit more sense with the music, but not much.
Like, I just don't get the twisty thing.
The twisty thing's basically, it's an analog jog, so where one side's blue, one side's pink.
Yeah.
So if it moves across, you've got to twist it to the left or twist it to the right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Looks hectic.
It's hectic as hell. I saw that a while ago. I'm like, I have to show that on the show sometimes because it's never been like talk about it online. People are like, oh, that game came out in 2013 and we're all over it. I've never seen it. It's new to me. If I haven't
seen it, it's new to me.
Exactly.
Yep.
I wish we had more creative music games like that because I assume that's high level play. I assume there'll be a nice like do 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 do
turn push turn push.
This is the song we sing now. How would you sing that song, Anais?
I wouldn't.
That's correct. One day we'll get her.
One day.
She just won't be able to hold it in anymore and just be bursting forth. Okay. That's a lot of things I talked about. Things.
It looks great.
Now, I guess...
Yes?
This is kind of good because we've got a long time to talk about this. So we're going to talk about Firewatch now. Now, because this is a very narrative-heavy game... We will be talking about it in a broad sense for a little while, and we will put in a mark halfway through where we will tell you it's now spoiler alert, and we will talk explicitly about this game. If you're interested at that point of the game, leave us for the evening. Goodbye. Because you don't want to spoil the shit. It's really, really interesting. Well, at least I think so. We'll find out what these losers think. Also an A.
Wait. Oh. You said...
Yes. And then... Well, I suppose at this point I might mention what next week's Game Club game is. And interesting backstory, because we never spoke about it on the show, you may not know. Five Nights at Freddy's World came out a few weeks ago on Steam. It was terrible. It was unfinished.
Oh man, even the fans hated it. There was epic backlash.
He took it off Steam. He refunded everyone, whether they asked for it or not. He apologized. He's been continuing working on the game, and now it's just on Game Jolt for free.
So weird.
I'm going to say, given that he made the same thing over and over again, might not be that great a developer. And then tried something pretty ambitious. Turns out it was hard.
Maybe it takes more than a few months to make an RPG or something.
Maybe.
We'll find out next week with Five Nights at Freddy's World, which will be...
a game.
It'll be present. Okay, so Firewatch. Firewatch is a game by Campo Santo. Or Santo Campo. No, Santo Campo. Campo Santo. Anyway, mostly ex-Telltale people. Most of the people... Well, not most... some of the leads do a podcast, Idle Thumbs. They're pretty well known. I listen to them and know quite a lot of, and sort of followed the game through just their lives over the last few years while they developed it. Small developer out in San Francisco, and it's been released on PS4 and PC at the moment. This is PS4 footage, and I suppose I'm just going to caveat at the beginning of this. If you are choosing between the two, at the moment you choose PC. Because PS4 has constant juddering issues, and
it wasn't. Yeah. So I think one of the struggles this game has had is being, well, for me, was being released so close to The Witness.
It has a similar art style, except The Witness is fucking amazing.
Yeah, so like,
and this is just pretty good.
Yeah, like if I hadn't seen The Witness, I'd be like, oh yeah, you know, like it's nice. It looks pretty good. But like The Witness, oh crap. So,
but on that. Witness entirely like nothing but puzzles.
Yes, yeah. So
Firewatch, nothing but story.
Just a little like it's more of like a bad timing on their end. It's still fine though. Like
it still looks good, and
at.
especially on PC, it looks really fucking good still.
It was more like hype. I guess long-term hype for The Witness. This is like, I don't know, recent hype.
They've both been. I wonder how much either of them in the mainstream.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I'm like constantly like, Firewatch The Witness. Oh, it's great.
Yes,
how about Night in the Woods? And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about for? Anyway, so I have my thoughts on this, but because I talk the most, why don't one of you start? Who wants to?
You can go, Anais.
Well, on the juddering issues, I didn't know it was like an issue, and I got pretty frustrated and disappointed.
It's slightly annoying, but it doesn't affect the game.
Oh, yeah, it didn't hurt my
Yeah,
experience.
but it's sort of like you want to enjoy the environment, you like pan left and right, and it's just like juddering.
A little glitchy.
I have to say, like that actually didn't bother me at all. Like I kind of noticed it a bit.
I noted it, but I was like, whatever.
Yeah, like it was still. Like, it's not like it was a Twitch shooter. So.
Anais always going on about her sick rig, so you know it's important to her. Oh, less than 120 frames, might as well poke my eyes out.
Yes, but yeah, it's good. I know it's really hard to talk about without talking about story.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess I wonder how much the initial story affects the end story.
Well, that stuff we'll talk about in the spoiler.
Yeah.
And I can
the voice
give you a lot
acting's
of
great.
I can give you a lot of background of that.
Yeah, but the voice acting's great. I think they're really relatable, and it's like funny and sort of like hip dialogue as well.
The story in the broader sense is you have gone to spend a few months in a Firewatch tower as a job, and the majority of the game is your relationship with basically your boss, at least the manager of the area, and you communicate solely by your little radio that you have with you. So a lot of the game is having conversations.
Yeah, which I actually found the radio controls a little awkward.
Yeah, first.
Really?
A few while.
First off, I actually missed a few at the beginning because
yeah.
I didn't quite get how it worked, and...
Well, worse than the radio, you push the button, but then you got to talk.
Yeah, you're pushing the right trigger to cycle. That was the bit where it's like,
Wait, you did PC?
What?
You did PC, didn't you?
No, I did.
Yeah.
You don't push the trigger to cycle.
Yeah,
Left trigger, and then...
You just use the D-pad.
Right,
down.
It tells you right trigger to move through it. So you like click, 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 and then release. I found it a bit awkward.
I never did that once, so just use the D-pad.
Okay, well the on-screen instructions didn't tell you that. So I found that was a bit... Actually, controls I struggled with a little bit in the game. There were things where it's like... I'm trying to use this thing.
Yeah, like ropes.
I'm going to be like at the right angle, and I found myself positioning back and forth and strafing around a little bit to do it. And also invisible walls.
I
got quite a few invisible walls.
I got stuck on a rock.
I almost got stuck.
I got stuck on things twice, but all these other problems are complete news to me.
I thought your problem with invisible walls because you feel sick when you see invisible walls.
I didn't run into invisible walls.
I just walked
on paths.
They weren't like super obvious invisible walls.
I did a lot of exploring, and I found quite a few janky things when I was moving around this, like paths. Like I don't think it's not a spoiler. There's a fence at some point in the world, and I get to the fence, and it's like can't get to the side of the fence, and I follow it. And I get to a part where it's like the fence is it's like a 2-foot gap where the fence isn't into the ground. And I'm like, I should be able to just go under that fence to get into it. Like,
no, Henry's too fat.
Oh, he's not that fat. He would have lost.
Have you seen Henry?
I did. Oh, did I?
Can we see Henry, Mr. Producer?
I wonder how he could handle.
Please be
this
the same Henry
hiking.
that I saw.
Oh yes.
So this is interesting for multiple things. This is who Henry actually is, who you never see in the game.
What? What is this?
But it also points out what the rig that you're actually controlling looks like. Because when you're doing a full body awareness rig in a first-person game, it's nothing but cheats.
This is awesome.
Because the next one is when you pull out an object to inspect. It looks great.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Like, what I like is that why did they ever model the backpack on him? When would you ever see that?
Maybe they tried third person.
No, I know they deliberately never did.
Oh, okay. Then it's a bit weird. Because an artist did it. They were like, we're doing all this pre-production. I built.
You know what? Maybe the frame rate would be a little bit better if they weren't ready to fucking backpack.
The intro.
No. That's total spoiler.
That. Oh, okay. All right.
That's total spoiler. They deliberately never showed that.
All right.
So the whole premise and the way the game starts has been secret, and it's secret for a reason.
All right.
So that definitely saves. That is definitely saves. The actual environment exploring, I think they did a really good job of just feeling like the wilderness. Because it's actually very small areas. The game is very small.
So the game is very linear in its pathing.
It's not.
No, okay, at the beginning...
Maybe day 2, first 2 days.
Very early in the game.
Linear.
Yeah, I'm like... Because when I first played it, I was like, oh, this actually feels really on rails. Because it's like, all right, I got to follow the path. And there's lots of illusion of multiple paths when it's just like... It's like, oh, they both go to the same point. But you can see on the map. But
that's kind of what the world is.
But then I was
thinking, will I walk around this tree that way or that way?
But then
and then you meet up at the bottom anyway.
I was thinking about it. And if you're in a park... There's going to be trails.
And they all lead to the same point.
And they all kind of go to the same point. So I didn't really think that was...
Will I go for the 2-mile walk or the 2.5-mile walk?
So I was like, that's fine. But as the game progresses and you unlock shortcuts and things like that, it does start to feel a lot more open.
Yeah, there were bits where I'm like, oh, this was here all along.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Sorry to go back a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a comment on the chat saying that the backpack was for the shadow. Wrong, motherfucker! If you notice, the game does not have a detailed shadow. It just has a blob shadow. This is because the rig gets so crazy to make it look like it's actually your hands doing stuff that they'd have to completely animate another character to make a shadow on the ground. They were talking about this because they were comparing to The Witness, which has no body but has a very detailed shadow. And you have to make one choice or the other because in first person it's going to be freaky weird.
Yeah.
So Elliot, suck on that. I mean, thanks for your input, good friend.
Thank you, good friend.
Anyway, sorry, we were talking.
Okay, so I think it is probably the most successful walking simulator I've played. So, and it was when I'm playing a walking simulator. I often feel like I'm playing a walking simulator.
Yes.
I'm like, this is a game where I'm going to walk around a lot. And
Dear Esther.
And then it's going to end. With this is like, it was really only like about halfway through. I'm like, oh, it's a walking simulator. Like I didn't even really notice it because I'm like, I'm just playing the game. I'm just doing stuff. And I think that walking simulator is like this budding genre, and they often feel very contrived. And this is the first walking simulator I played that didn't feel contrived.
I think part of why that works is because they said, what's a reason to be walking around a lot?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
You're a fucking forest ranger.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, it feels really natural to go like, oh, well, there's something over there we need to go check out. I'll walk over to it. I guess this will involve me walking a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm bored, so I've got someone on the radio, so I'll just talk to them.
And it's not stupid big either.
No.
When I'm playing Rapture, it's like that game getting around was like
so boring.
It's like, I'm so tired of walking
boring.
around. Well, this is like, no, if I need to get from one place to another, I can just lock on sprint.
You have a map.
And there's a map.
I went the wrong way once. That was a bit painful.
I'll get there.
Yeah, and
pretty quick.
Yeah, I keep trying to double check myself not to say anything that's spoilery, but you get as much or as little as you want out. Like there's quite a lot in the world to discover, which a lot of people, including me, missed a hell of a lot of stuff that you can see in the game. But you can just run straight to. You can go and do side things completely by your own accord. Just go and look around. I mean, you're in the forest. You're there for a few months. You're in no real rush to do anything. Your relationship with the woman you're talking to in the game, Delilah, you can talk to her as much or as little as you want. If you just don't want to respond, that's a fine choice. You can do that.
I did accidentally sometimes.
Every once in a while, especially if I was interacting with something like, I've got to get out of the interaction so I can pull out my radio.
No, that was some of the problems I ran into. Yeah, like
I thought they should have had a button that just, no matter what you were doing, would cancel out and pull the radio straight out. Or it would pause the timer while you were in an interaction. That would have been nice.
Yeah, so there was just a few times where I'm like, oh shit, she's talking to me. But quick, put down what I'm doing because I couldn't answer it.
Yeah, or if you're climbing up a rope or something and got the map open.
Did you always put your books back on the bookshelf?
I couldn't. I tried. They were there the whole game, like on the floor.
They just click into the bookshelf.
There is.
I guess you can collect them. That's a spoiler. You can collect books in this game.
Oh, I didn't realize you could collect them.
How many hats did you have?
None.
I don't have any hats.
You didn't even have a hat. This isn't spoilery yet.
No.
There's a hat in the game.
It's hard to talk about without being spoilery. So what other stuff?
Okay. So,
Let me see if I've got anything else.
Any other notes in your thing? He's got so many notes.
Well, I just jot down stuff as I'm going. You see, and most of it's pretty spoilery.
I felt one of the things, and I have heard them talk about this, but I think it does show that the fact that it's a low budget game. Sometimes you can tell what an encounter is going to be because they don't have the production budget to make anything else. It's like, you're never going to meet those girls that were there.
Yeah, true.
It's like, That's not because that's the bit that they've shown off a million fucking times, which is why it's in the footage. Because it's at this point, that's just how you recognize fire. It's like, of course, there's silhouettes in the distance. They don't have the production budget to make that. That said, there's still okay, world design wise, the lighting in this game and the weather effects and the way everything builds up.
So well.
Like, there's a reason they made a little interactive dynamic background for PS4, which if you buy it separately is like $7. I'm not buying a background for $7, but throughout the day it just totally changes with the sun, and there's like. There's a reason they did that, because they did a lot of work on making that sort of atmosphere, like when there's smoke in the air, when it's early morning and there's fog, the different tones of the day, at afternoon sunset, things like that.
Yeah, because the space isn't that huge, and you revisit a lot of the areas, they do a good job at like just changing up the lighting.
And it makes you not recognize the areas as much. Yeah. Like,
I actually, on the opposite of that kind of, I thought they did a really good job of teaching me the layout of the areas.
Yeah.
Like things like putting the outhouse out there. Man, I always knew the direct, like when I needed to go a certain way, it was, I turn to the outhouse and things like that. And so when they did the linear stuff at the beginning, I think they did a great job of subtly teaching you that stuff. It's like, okay, this is intelligent. And the fact that it's not at any point a puzzle game.
Yeah.
At one point they say, go and collect some planks. And I'm like, I guess, how many planks do I need? And I picked up like 8. I needed 3. And there were more than 3 just next to me. There was no reason I needed to go do that. But I assumed I had to get all the planks, because that's what games do.
Yeah.
And it's
go get 10 bottles, Paul.
It was kind of like I thought that was actually a really good game joke.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, it's time for the plank hunt. It's like, no, just pick up the fucking planks and
do
it. You idiot. I mean, seriously, you think we want you to spend 20 minutes searching the area for planks? No, that's not the focus of this game. Okay, we are talking so much around spoilers. Should we switch to spoilers?
Just go to it. I think we just go to it.
Okay, so at this point, fare thee well if you do not want to hear a shitload of spoilers about Firewatch. It is a really interesting game, and we're going to at least start a little bit chronologically with the game, so if you start and get a taste for it, feel free to leave and we won't cry that you've gone. Okay, so whoop, spoiler time. The beginning of the game. Do you know what that was?
Oh, red.
Yeah. You're all right.
That.
Yeah.
I'm all ready.
Yeah.
Stuff.
That's cool. I should turn that down.
but Paul's not.
Red.
Yeah, well, that's because it's just a lot around the spoiler alert things. Yeah. Okay, so the beginning of the game is actually a Twine game.
Twine.
Sorry?
Twine is it's basically a system for interactive fiction.
Okay, yeah. I just didn't know I had a word.
Yeah. Oh no. Well, it's an actual it's a program. It's people make things in Twine. In the game, it's not in Twine, but quite far into development, they were talking about how to deal with Henry's backstory.
Yeah.
And one of them had just made this as like an exercise in writing and an exercise in sort of things. And then they just thought, so the backstory is you, Henry, meet a woman, you fall in love, get married, you have bullshit problems in your relationship, whatever. Then she's diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Yeah, early onset dementia. She's late 30s, I think, when she gets it. And she's deteriorated to the point that she doesn't even recognize you anymore, and that's why you've gone into...
Yeah, and it gets a bit... There's a point with, like, I chose to look after her.
Yeah.
And then that fails.
I put her in the home.
And then the parents come, and they're like, you're not looking after her, and they take her back to Melbourne.
Okay, so the thing that I liked about this...
Yeah.
It hammers in that this is not a game where you get to play your character. You get to play our version of this guy. And all those choices do matter in a story sense. But a lot of people are disappointed with the end of this game, which we're not going to mention right now, because nothing vastly changes with stuff. It's like...
I'm disappointed in the ending, but I think for different reasons.
We'll find out.
We'll get to it.
Yeah. Anyway, but not really. It's that there's just different ways that this guy can be, and you can deal with these emotions. And thematically, it deals with some of the other characters as well. But I don't know. I really liked, because one person was complaining that at one point you have an argument, and your choices were get angry or ignore her. Like, I wouldn't do that. It's like, yeah, but Henry does. It's like he's not. You can't just make every choice in life a good one. Well, no, I never actually. Yeah. I'm just going to be nice to her all the time and do this.
This does open up some of the gripes I have with the story in this game, how it's told, because this game does make me feel for quite a lot that I have a fair bit of input into what's going on.
Yeah.
By the time it wraps up, and we'll talk about it more later, I did not feel that at all. I was doing things in the game which I was really hoping would have some influence on my journey, but by the time it gets there, nah. And I felt like it was like a bait and switch to me. It was like, oh, here, have this feeling of agency, but no, not really.
But,
sorry.
Well, I was gonna say, like, I feel like they did that so you like align with the character more, like you feel more for him and you're more emotionally invested.
But yeah, like I was doing things while playing this game, like you were mentioning the books before.
Yeah.
You can put the books, but I didn't realize you could do it with the books. But every time you woke up, White's picture face down on the desk. Yeah. And so I like wake up and I'm like, no, put the picture back, put the picture back, put the picture back. And like it seemed to be like it was making a point to me of like every time I put it there, I wake up and the picture's face down in the morning.
But isn't that then a point?
Yeah, well, like, but me like putting it back up or not was irrelevant.
Did you put your wedding ring back on?
I did put the wedding ring back
I
on.
always put the wedding ring back on.
I didn't notice it until the very last
and that's
minute.
another, and this is like another decision which I felt like should have had more impact.
But impact how?
Like I wanted there to be some like what felt. I guess we'll talk about the ending later, but I wanted there to feel like there was some influence on my decisions on that story, and I didn't really feel like there were.
Okay, so to take a bit, so I've listened to quite a bit of background on this game and everything as well. So I kind of like someone was criticizing the game because it really labors on the guilt that you should be feeling, and the response from one of the devs was, "We never said you should feel guilty. That's on you." Yeah. It's like true. Never at one point do they actually say this or do anything. It's like you bring everything. So to me, it's more like you are making these decisions in the role. So every time you decide to pick up that picture, you're reinforcing that choice in doing that. And it's like narratively, what would change? Like the narrative,
nothing
the narrative
does.
has nothing to do with that. That's just who you are as a character, and that's the story you're building of yourself. The actual story of the game is...
And this is where I actually think it doesn't make very good use of the medium of being a game. Because I don't... Like, if this thing could have happily been some short... Like a movie, or like... It could have been a bunch... Like...
I think the interactivity actually adds a lot.
For me, like it's like, oh, I have some interactivity, I have some agency in what's going on, but then nothing. Like it's like, oh, okay, well, I guess it was like, I got to make some decisions which maybe the game in my head would have changed a bit while I'm playing it, but by the time I get to wrap it up, like there's nothing.
But I guess if you take that out, then if the wife came up in the conversation like on the radio and stuff, then you'd have no feelings for that. It would just feel like pointless backstory. Like you got to be involved in that sort of backstory, which is good, I think, and gets you more involved.
I think that's a fair observation. That by me, it does make me more emotionally invested in the story because I am actively engaging with the relationship.
So I'll cut in here with a bit of I'm becoming backstory guy. Okay, so in development, originally the intro was not there. You started the game with no idea who Henry was. So there would be things like you're flirting with Delilah, and then they'd reveal by panning the camera down and showing the ring on your finger. Oh, you're actually married and you're flirting? No, that's a bullshit gotcha thing. You're not playing someone there. That's just like, oh, we're fucking having a go. It's like, so they just front loaded all that stuff at the game. So it's like, no, you know exactly who this person is. You're coming in. So you don't, it's not like, I can only think of spoiler games actually, where you're playing a main character, but you yourself as the person playing that character doesn't fucking know. Yeah. Which is always bullshit, I think. And it's like, you know what Henry's struggling with. How you're interpreting that struggle can be different, because that's all on you. But that's kind of where, and that's where the game's all, like you're saying, it doesn't change much. This game changes shitloads. They did so much work in...
Okay, alright, so... Because when we were talking about a pre-show, you mentioned, or both you mentioned, like, I want to play it again. See, I finished this game with no desire to play it again. Okay. And now, I should not say I dislike this game.
Did you name the turtle?
Yes.
What did you name him?
I named him Bucket.
There's a turtle?
Oh, you missed it. There's multiple turtles.
Oh, God.
What about... No, multiple turtles is actually a bug.
Oh, okay. I thought it might have been a bug.
Raccoons?
Yeah, no, I saw the raccoon.
Dead stags?
No, I saw the raccoon.
The old burnt-out tower with the ghost story in it?
No, I didn't see that.
There's a lot of extra stuff in the game. No. Did you know? Okay, so now we're really into heavy plot spoilers, so fuck off now. Did you know that you can just go get the fucking axe and just get into that research station straight away?
Okay. No, and I do want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Because that was probably one of the most interesting parts in it for me.
Yeah.
Because I realized that. I was like, I've got I've got the axe, and then
you don't have to get the second radio.
And Dee's like, come back and we'll talk. And at this point, like it's like Dee, I'm still not sure if I trust her.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I've got it, and I actually walked all the way with the axe, and like I opened like the like a mailbox at the beginning. A bee comes out and stings me. Yeah. And
I love that bee.
Yeah, and like I'm on radio silence with Dee, and I was like, I wanted to talk to her about it, but it's like, no, I can't. Like we can't trust the radio. And so I actually turned...
so you at that point you didn't have the second radio?
No. And so I actually turned around and walked all the way back because like, no, I want Dee's backup.
Oh yeah. And you can totally just like talk to her and be like, I'm opening the gate now.
Yeah.
And she's like, what the fuck are you doing? Why on the wrong radio?
I
really,
really liked that. Like that was and
so what they did. So part of the point was that in design, as they open the game,
what
they
happens
said
if you do that?
They said then, well, I don't know, I haven't played it that way yet. That's what I want to find out. Yeah. Because the thing is, it's all. The game is not about like the old one. It's about the journey of the destination, blah, 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 blah. But it's about your relationship with Delilah mostly. So you can you can play this game basically only talking to her like 3 times. You can have no relationship with this woman. You can have an ultimate like a really intimate relationship. You can have a combative relationship with her. You know,
we had sexy talks.
Oh. Yeah. One of the things I loved was the night that you wake up and there's the fire in the distance, and it's the first time I noticed her tower on the horizon because it's lit up.
Seen it, yeah.
And she goes, "Are you watching the fire?" And you go, "Oh, I'm watching your tower." I'm like, that wasn't any input on me in the game. They're just like, okay, you've walked over that side, you're looking that direction, we'll play this now. I'm like, that's fucking great. That's really clever. Like, okay, well, she goes, well, look back at the fire. I'm like, okay, back I go. I can't really see you. It's not voyeurism.
See, for me, it was a bit different.
Yeah.
Because I walked downstairs.
Oh, yeah,
and she asked, are you looking at the fire? I'm like, no. Like, go back and look at the fire. Like, oh, all right.
Did you look at the fire? Look at her tower? Or
I didn't really see the tower.
Oh, you didn't notice it behind? No. See, that's the thing, like... And, okay, so... As I said, I've already done the heavy spoiler in that, where, you know, this is what the game is. You don't have to find Ned's hideout.
You can ignore it.
Yeah.
No, you just don't even find it at all. You can just go straight to the helicopter. You can just miss the story.
Yeah, I was wondering that, because I almost missed it.
Okay, so we can talk about that story now?
Yeah, we can talk about Ned and Brian.
That was where I got really disappointed. This is where I think the ending, I felt, completely let me down. Because I was pretty invested in this, like, crazy conspiracy shit.
But that's the point. That's because you're people alone in the forest.
Yeah, I know, but, like...
And you've built up crazy shit in your head.
Yeah, but, like, there was crazy shit happening. Like him building the fences around, like... Or, like...
Just wait, okay... He didn't build fences.
Where'd the fences come from?
That's just a university project. That's just a regular science lookout. That stuff has nothing to do with Ned.
But he set up stuff there.
Yeah, he went in there and he put some shit for you.
Alright, so I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I was like, why?
It's like, why would he have like stuff for earthquake measuring and animal and trackers for animals and all this sort of stuff? No, it's a university like site for study. And in fact, Delilah can tell you about that as well. Except she just hadn't read the memo at that point. She's like, "Oh fuck, I found this." Sorry.
See, I was like, "Why is there this thing?" Like, it was too. He'd gone too far, and like it was like.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like it's a small story that gets built up because you're paranoid and you're in the forest and everything, and everything else is just character based. So as the full ending, where if you never guessed, I guess because I'm cynical, I'm like, they don't have the budget to build Delilah as a character model. I knew I was never meeting Delilah. Yeah. I was like, yeah, this is going to be... But also...
They had the budget to do a backpack.
That's her entire character's MO. No, she does not take responsibility for anything she does.
I was glad she wasn't there.
Yeah.
Like, because I told her to stay, I asked her to, and she's, I'll stay.
Yeah, the bitch.
And then I got there and she was gone. I
was
like,
left me.
Yeah,
whatever.
Sad.
Yeah.
What does your Henry portrait look like?
I think this is like I was also doing stuff in the game for like I went and got to Ron's. That was his name, right? Ned's hideout.
Yeah.
I was like
I think Ron and Dave are the other guys.
Yeah, like taking pictures as evidence.
Oh, okay,
let's talk about the camera.
Oh my god! Right, yes.
So first off, I didn't use all the camera shots because I'm like, and this is the genius of giving me that camera and saying you got like 24 shots. I'm like, I'm going to be selective. So I didn't end up using them all.
I kind of forgot about it.
No, because like after a while I'm like, because the game's pretty, and so when I first get the camera, I'm like, I'm saving it.
Yeah.
And then I see some really nice pictures. I'm like, I get some really nice shots. And then as it sort of goes on, and then it starts getting to like dead bodies and that kind of stuff, it becomes like the evidence thing.
Yeah.
So there's that. But then with the credit roll, Are we gonna?
Okay, well, no. Can I do it a different way?
Oh, okay, all right.
Now, I don't actually think it's in the PS4 version. I'm not sure. So basically, you can take all these photos in the game. Then at the end of the game, you can send off your role to be developed with a company in the States, and they will send you the prints of the photos you took in the game.
Cute.
The twist on this is that because you picked up this role from Brian, the boy, his backpack, it's already had a few shots taken off it. So they're included in the credits as well, but you physically can get them. You get the photos from before he died.
Yeah.
With his dad.
Oh, you didn't? Yeah, because, like, going through it, it's like, Ned. Like, you're not sure whether he's a good dad or not. Like, Dee really doesn't like him.
Yeah.
And, like, his son died, and you're like, and he's gone crazy and been tormenting you. Or trying to get rid of you.
That's because he wants some of that sweet D.
Yeah, and so it goes through some extra pictures at the end, and you see that he's actually had quite a good relationship with his son.
Yeah.
It's just but now this is where this is one of those stories I had to sit on a little bit before I got like, oh, okay, I kind of see what's going on there. And so you've got Delilah and Hank. I'm going to call him Hank.
You mean Henry?
Yeah,
or you mean her other boyfriend?
Well, no, she calls you Hank sometimes.
Oh, okay,
yeah. Anyway, so you've got those two in there. Now, both of them have gone into the woods to kind of get away from something that's happened. They both kind of run. Where with Ned, it's like something's bad happened, and he's still hiding from it, but he's hiding from it by staying there. So it's sort of like. It's like there's very strong parallels between what's going on. It's just sort of like a slight twist for him. So it's like three people that are hiding,
and all of them are denying responsibility to a degree.
Yeah.
And they'll do it in different ways.
Yeah.
And your reasoning for Henry can be different. You know, like as I said before, when wife had Alzheimer's, I actually put her in nursing care. You kept her. How monstrous were you?
I kept her.
You see, I'm the only monster. Yeah. And someone's got to help, and I'm useless.
Even by the end, I'm like, "You gonna go see her?" I'm like, "Nah, she won't remember me."
But that's kind of the thing. You say that, and like people are like, oh, you know, Gilly's like ends with like you going to see her. It's like, no, it doesn't. It ends with someone telling you to go see her, and what your fucking character does is in your imagination. Up to you. Actually, the night where you wake up and you have the dream and you have the fake conversation with your wife, I thought that was genius because they'd established she was Australian. So it only took me like one line to I'm talking to my wife.
No, it took me a minute. I'm like, why is Delilah like hitting on me now? What did I miss?
Because it's like a transition, isn't it? It's like Delilah's talking to you first, and then it's like, oh, your wife's on the line.
Yeah.
Well, it ends like, hey, Jules.
It just changes. Yeah. No. And that's kind of what I like about it. So the game. So they structured the whole game that you can just totally skip things. There's a lot of other things to find. Because basically they made it that they said when they open something, they weren't going to close it again artificially because that's bullshit. But it means it breaks the game. So they just straight up let you break the game, which meant they had to do more lines, more story and everything. So there's a heap of content in there that most people will never see. But it does mean that it's kind of a free thing to play around with. And once you know it, you can go back and try to find all these, just like, I'm going to go get the... Actually, I did find, like, when I got the axe, it was like, you know, when you get the power, like a real good gun in a shooting game?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm powerful now. I can knock down this tree. I can take out those bushes. Fuck you. I've got an axe. It's power fantasy.
Now I think about it, there's this one bit when you overhear a conversation with Delilah and someone else. And did you guys have that?
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, he doesn't know yet. That's when I started to be like, is she Dodge?
You know, brilliant thing about that? Because you can just ask her straight about it. It's like, no, talking about someone else. It's like, why the fuck do you think this is about you? I have a job here. I manage an entire forest. Like,
I talked to her and she got shitty at me.
Yeah.
And she, because I accused her of like, are you talking about me? And she'll actually get angry.
Yeah.
And then she'll disappear. It's like, I gotta go. And you get a little icon saying like Delilah is.
I think that's the only time in the game that can happen.
Yeah, like she actually you can't contact her. She's like, no, she's gone.
And that's where I think it's so interesting. It's like,
and now I think having this conversation with you, I'm starting to feel now there's more
going on.
There's more going on, and there's more. I didn't realize the experiences
could be so
could actually be different, and I still feel like my decisions didn't really. I was invested in like the crazy shit going on.
Well, that's the thing. Like, nothing's going to change the crazy shit story. Because the thing is, honestly, most of that story has nothing to do with you. The only thing it does have is that he's a bit jealous of you because you're hitting on his girlfriend. Well, not his girlfriend, but the person he imagines.
I feel like that was like this kind of big I guess, kind of red herring of story of like, I think this is like, it's not really what's going on.
But that's what I kind of liked about it, that it played itself up as something bigger, and the whole time, like, I started the game, I was terrified that Delilah wasn't real. I was fucking like, I'm the one with fucking
Dementia,
Alzheimer's. All these sort of shit bullshit cliches and everything. And then when it starts building up to a bit of like a crazy thing, I'm like, well, this is fun, but also it's not real. It feels like this is fantasy. And it was fantasy. Most of it was just totally like, it was still a tragic story in the background. It wasn't a tragic story to do with me. It just happened that I was just caught in a bit of the shit.
I wasn't sure what to think when I found the fort.
Yeah.
Like, because you find the kids like D&D fort, and it's like, what is this? What is? When you
should be able to read his D&D campaign.
When you get to the hideout and it's like the D&D book, there, like, it was kind of, he's got it. He cared. He was kind of a good dad, even though his son died.
Yeah, I mean, he could have been an irresponsible dad.
Yeah, irresponsible dad.
And maybe he was just real angry that day and pushed him down. We don't know. Maybe he did kill him.
Finding that body, I thought it was anticlimactic a little bit.
Yeah,
like,
I didn't.
Okay, just wait. I've been pretty positive about the game. Here's the piece of fucking bullshit, and I'm getting bait for the mic because I gotta fucking tell you about it. It's a gate. You get the key. You open it. You go inside. Gets shut behind you. Maybe someone shuts behind you. I like to think it just shut because it's a fucking gate, and gates can shut sometimes. Can't be opened from the other side. What kind of security gate can shut behind you and not be opened again?
And you have the key.
Bullshit. Mm-hmm. That's a bullshit gate. That's not a real gate. That's fucking fantasy, and I will not have it in this video game.
That whole section I didn't really like. Like, it's like, I'm just going down. I felt like it was making me travel for no particular reason.
The fact they had to go up and then go back around.
Yeah. I actually got quite stuck in the other side of it. Yeah, like, I couldn't figure out how to get out.
I was trying to get out through the hideout.
Did you not get... Well, you did get out through the hideout. Is there another way? Because you get the climbing gear.
Yeah, I didn't find the climbing gear. I couldn't find it. Because I think they call them, like, pistons.
Yeah, I didn't find the crack.
Yeah, I didn't notice the crack either, so I was there for probably like 15 minutes walking around going, I
found the crack and said, this seems to be the way out. I guess there'll be some climbing gear around here. And it was under the piece of paper.
But that was the only point.
But I kind of like, because you go down there and this whole thing's been built up. I'm going to uncover the mystery. I'm going to fucking...
Yeah.
I've got it. Yeah, we're going to find him. He's going to have like a secret lab. And all these like radio machines and like pictures of like with my blood type. And I'm gonna get him. And I get down there, and then it's like, oh, there's that kid. He's dead.
I took a picture of it.
It's not that you took a picture of it.
Well, one
it's
of
like,
evidence.
It's both like, it's anticlimactic in the sort of fantasy you were trying to go for, but then it's also like, oh, right, real shit. He's just there, and his head's crushed.
But I didn't really, like, I just felt like, because at that point I still thought there was like weird shit going on.
You thought there was still like,
and so it was like, mystery. Yeah, because I was kind of the same. I got in like, I didn't really feel like, reality. I was like, well,
yeah, they're like, I don't know, they could have done something with the scene or something, even just to like pause on it and like zoom in. I don't know.
But I think that's the sort of thing, is to not overplay it. It's like, there is a dead body here, and it's not, and like, okay, there's a bit of light coming in, but it's not like a fabulous looking area.
Was Ned trying to kill me at that point when he closed the gate?
I don't think he closed the gate.
You think it just closed?
I think the gate just closed, and the fact that it closed, you're like, oh my god, someone.
But he wanted you to find the body.
He didn't want you to find the body. He alarmed the key.
Why did he give you the key?
No, you found the key.
How?
With the scanny thing.
But who put it there?
It was attached to the animal tracker. So
yeah,
it was kind of like, why would it be attached to the animal tracker?
Why was it out in the open?
Yeah, actually, no, and it was alarmed as well.
Oh, no, it was alarmed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure at that point.
Yeah,
actually.
because you find it, you pull it off, and it's like, oh, fuck.
I thought he wanted you to find it. Like, he was fighting it first. He's like, no, I just need to give in and let someone find the body.
But that key, because that key belonged to an old ranger.
Yeah.
And they just alarmed their backpack. And it's like that, because that person had nothing to do with Ned or anything. Because Ned had probably never even been in the caves. Because he was sort of locked up. Yeah. And that's just like where Brian was, and don't know. Don't know the details of exactly that.
Yeah. All right. Actually, okay. So, I want to talk about the fire.
Okay.
Okay. So, that game did a great job at having me learn that environment.
Yeah.
Right. And so, like, by the end, like, I know how to get around this shit. I'm good. I know all the paths and all that. As soon as that fire started, I was so lost.
Yeah.
So confused. I'm like,
Same.
bring out the map. I'm like, all right, I gotta rotate the arrow. and like, I couldn't get anywhere, and I was worried that like
It'd
the
kill
helicopter
you.
would leave or something like that.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
But I really liked it. Like it's like, oh, you think you know? Let's have smoke and fire.
I like one of my favorite things about I'll call it the escape, even though like they're picking you up well before the fire is actually going to get you. Is you go like, oh no, wait for me, Delilah. I'm almost there, and then you pass a sign that says like 5 miles.
But still, I would lie. I wouldn't want someone. I was worried no helicopter was going to come
Don't
after
leave
her.
me, woman. Okay, we've got to wrap this up. It's the end of the show, and we've spoiled the fuck out of this. But what did your Henry portrait look like?
He was very naked, like a sexy lady.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, hold on, no.
No, that's in the beginning.
No, there's Henry at the beginning.
Oh no, the one that Delilah draws of you.
He had sad eyes and a beard. And it's like a scruffy white guy with sad eyes.
Yeah. Anything with you?
I think mine's the same. I don't even remember.
There is a huge amount of variety with that. There are dozens.
I think I had shorts as well.
Yeah, bearded shorts.
I assumed it was swapping out bits like a paper doll based on
it uses the map technology. That's why you can't bring your map up anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it uses the whole map engine to draw this thing. It's pretty intense. But my favorite one is if you say you look like Burt Reynolds, and you can name the turtle Turt Reynolds.
Yeah.
There'll be a turtle there, and it'll be Burt and Turt with a love heart.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's like
Beautiful. Bucket Jr.
Bucket.
That was the name.
I accidentally called my dog Mayhem, but it was actually a good name. It worked out well in the story. So that's Firewatch, and hopefully that wasn't the way you learned about it, because we spoiled the shit out of that. That said, there's still a lot I haven't seen. Yeah. So now we've had the conversation. I mean, you were never saying it was a bad game.
No, it's probably the most interesting walking simulator I've played. I think the most successful walking simulator you've played. And I think from the conversation we've had, I think there are some things I missed, which I was kind of angry at. Like things like the fence. I'm like, why the fuck would there be a fence? Like, because I assumed he built it.
Just imagine if you, like, okay, even with that story point, so you were like, this still isn't resolved. Like, why would this stuff happen? Because you hadn't learned that point. And then the end of the game is you leave.
Yeah.
So you're like,
well, I guess it was like, I felt like the conspiracy stuff was too complex for him to do. Like it convinced me too much. I'm like, oh, but he's not. Well, he built crazy gear which looked like it was from space. How did he do that when he was out in the middle of the woods?
When he's trying to do things out of a broken boombox.
And maybe
how do you eat? How do you survive?
Stealing things from the supply boxes.
Oh, I accidentally took all the food from the supply box.
Why, you monster?
What happens? What happens?
She's just sort of like, so did you take all the food? And he's like, yeah. I was hungry. And she's like, well, now we have no food. And that was like the end of it.
But that's the thing. It's like all these things just like, it builds up your own little character on it. It's not about making a big ending, or it's about being able to experience different Henrys and Delilahs and everything. And that's why I want to play it again. I want to see how much I can push it.
Delilah's super charming, by the way.
She's really nice, but she's also super responsible.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it can change, but like...
Oh, 2 teenage girls went missing? Oh, don't worry about it.
She just lied and said we had nothing to do with it. It's like,
no, she told you to wreck up their shit.
This guy you've never met could have killed them, and she's like, oh, don't worry about it.
It also ties back to the fact that she allowed Brian to go up there and then denied he was there and all that sort of stuff. When he would be alive if she hadn't done that.
It's a bunch of people that don't want to take responsibility and are hiding in the woods.
Exactly. That's what the woods should be.
Yeah.
So out of 27 points, how many turtle points do you give it?
20.
Okay.
24.
I give it green turtle out of 27. I thought it was.
It's good.
I think it's really good. It's a little rough around the edges.
Yep. Things like the fence that looked like I could just go under.
I think they solved a lot of problems with walking simulators, and they were very dedicated to sticking with the choices they made.
I think we're going to see better walking simulators now.
Someone had a great pitch for what the next thing should be: crime scene investigator, and you're just like taking photos like you want it.
That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted.
You just walk around taking photos and you're talking. That'd be great. Anyway, that brings us to the end of today's episode. Next week's Game Club is, of course, Five Nights at Freddy's World, which I'm sure will bring just as much exciting conversation as this.
Should I play a Five Nights at Freddy's game as well? Yeah, I feel
like I should as well.
Because if you never have, you just play it for like. I'm not a big fan of it.
I played the Space Venture
rip-off,
and I hated it. I hated it with the passion of 1,000 burning suns.
That's a lot of suns.
Yep. Oh yeah, thanks, Mr. Producer. Tomorrow night, if you live in Brisbane, we are going to go be seeing Deadpool at South Bank Cinemas at 6:45 p.m.
So buy a ticket,
Go buy tickets, and if you jump
$6.50.
Yeah, $6.50. Jump onto our Facebook page for the details. You'll see the event there, or email us. But yeah, hopefully we can see you tomorrow night for fun Deadpool adventure times. We'll all be there.
Guile Stones on the chat wants to know if this is pre-recorded.
Pre-recorded? No, sir.
Of course it's pre-recorded.
Actually, no, it is. Yeah, thanks.
We're just psychic.
Yeah.
If it was pre-recorded, I'd take breaks, just wipe the sweat off.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for watching. I've been your host, Paul.
I've been James.
I've been Anais.
Catch you all later next week, folks. And tomorrow if you're in Brisbane,
Yeah,
maybe.
see you tomorrow, everyone. Hopefully. Please come.
Love us.
Thank you.